Hey Cupcakes, this your girl Sprinkles and you're watching Sprinkles TV on Wine for Crime Wednesdays.
48 years old and I weigh about 450 pounds. The human body is very similar to pork. If you mix it together, no one can tell the difference. So the next time you're riding down the road and you happen to see an open pit beef stand, make sure you think about this story before you take the prize.
Joe Metheny started out looking for his runaway wife and his son, but ended up on a killing spree, turning his business into burglary. Hey Cupcakes, and thank you for tuning in to another video this week. I really appreciate all the views that I get. I know that I'm a small YouTuber, but I'm trying to grow and I need your help. And if you're new, thank you for watching. I hope that you like the video, and by the end of the video, you want to subscribe and be a part of my little family here. Okay, so, I also want to say, I know my voice sounds a little crazy, and it's because I'm sick. I'm getting over my sickness. I'm pretty much over it. I've been in the bed all day, all yesterday. I just been sleeping, resting, and I'm tired. I just want to get out that bed. I had an interesting video this week that I wanted to share with you guys. When I first read it, I was like, wow, I never heard of nothing like this before. If you noticed, last week we talked about Catherine Knight, which was based out of Australia. Well, this one's a little closer to home. He's based out of Maryland. Okay, so on U.S. soil, and he's doing some crazy things. It was very hard to read, but you know what? I got through it. We about to get into this video. Joe Metheny was born on March 2nd, 1955, and he was one of 6 children. His father was an alcoholic. His father actually died in a car crash when he was 2 years old, so that left him with his mother, and that left her to be a single mother. So here she is, single mom, doing it, raising 6 kids. And she's working a lot, you know, and she's working as a waitress, a barmaid, and sometimes she does her little food truck thing. So, food truck thing. Speaking of food truck, okay, we're going to get into that later, but I just thought about something. He might have got it from his mother, now that I think about it. Okay, so anyway, so she was all that. So that means she was away from the home a lot. So that left him and his sisters and brothers at home fending for themselves, basically, because mommy wasn't home a lot of the time. So he said that he felt neglected growing up, and I can understand that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, she was trying to do what she had to do to get them bills paid. She said that her kids never went hungry. Her kids never was on welfare. Her kids never had to, you know, have the lights cut off on them, never had to get evicted from the house, never had to go stay with other family members or relatives, you know. So she was doing it. So even though that they didn't see her a lot, she still made sure that they had a normal childhood. His mom also said a few things about Joe. When he was little, he was a really good kid. He was really polite. He was very well mannered. He did very well in school. And she also said one thing that kind of like tickled me a little bit. She said that when he was little, he liked to ride bikes a lot, like for exercise and stuff. And I was just like, what happened? Because if you look at this picture, what happened? Like, you should have stuck with that. But anyway, she said he was a good kid. But he did drop out of middle school. He just dropped out. I guess he was tired of school. I don't know. But he dropped out. And he later went on to get his high school equivalency certificate, I think it's called. It's not like a diploma. It's like a certificate or something like that. But, you know, you can still do some things with it. He went and got that. And then he went into the military. When he went into the military, you know, he became very distant from his family. It's like he pretty much didn't want nothing to do with them. His mom said that she hadn't talked to him in like 10 years at one time. Growing up, how he felt neglected, you know. I don't know if he was like trying to punish her, or he just didn't want to talk to his family. He just didn't feel like included enough, or he didn't feel like he fit in. I don't know, but he didn't talk to them, and he didn't write no letters. He didn't call. He didn't do nothing. Okay, so their relationship just, you know, got distant till there was nothing left, you know. Okay, so we're moving into the 1990s, okay? And Joe is big. He's a big boy, okay? He's 6'1", and he's so big that people around town call him Tiny. So you know you gotta be big if people nicknaming you Tiny. He was often caught hanging in bars, fighting in bars, getting arrested, doing drugs, drinking, you name it. He did hold down a steady little job, though. I don't know what it was, but he had a little job, and he spent all that money from his job to buy his drugs and to get his booze. Heroin is a hell of a drug. Crack is a hell of a drug, and he was doing both. So he stayed high, stayed out of his mind. He had some demons. I know he had some demons. Also, by the late 1980s, he met a woman. I don't know where she came from. I don't know how he met her. I don't know where he met her, but he met a woman. He met that woman and he got her pregnant, and she bore a son. So everything was cool. He wanted to give his son like the life that he didn't have, like with 2 parents and stuff, but he did have to work. He worked as a truck driver, so he was always gone, just like his mom. Always gone, trying to get the money, just like him, trying to get the money, always doing overtime, always gone. So he very rarely was home. But one day he was doing overtime and he came home and there was no one at his house. There was no son, there was no wife, there wasn't even no furniture. Everything was gone. So he freaked out and everything and did nothing, because 6 months later he then found out that she moved across town. It was 6 whole months and he didn't know what happened to his son, know what happened with her, all his stuff gone. What did he do for 6 months? Well, he found out that she was living on the other side of town with some a-hole, as he likes to call it. She was living with the a-hole, and the a-hole had her selling her body for drugs. And they were doing drugs all the time, doing crack. You know, he was so mad because he was like, why did she take my son from me? She could have went. Like, I didn't care. I would have paid her to leave. But she didn't have to leave with my son. She could have left him with my mother. I don't know. I guess he was just over her, but he wanted his son. He really cared for his son. So he went across town and he went to look for his son and his estranged wife. Well, when he went over there, he ran into a homeless guy. He asked the homeless guy, have you seen her? He described her and everything. And the homeless guy's like, yes, I did see her. I do drugs with her, me and this guy down there. And he pointed down the bridge. So he's like, oh, okay. So he's like, she should be in this area. So Joe goes and looks for her. He didn't find her. So he became more enraged. Like, where is she at with my son? Couldn't find her. So he's seen those 2 homeless guys again, laying on a mattress down the bridge. He goes and kills both of the homeless guys and chops them up with an axe. And this axe he brought from home, which to me should be first-degree murder, because it was premeditated, because you took your murder weapon with you to kill. Like, you wanted to kill. Like, you wasn't looking for your wife and your son. You wanted to kill her. He had a whole big axe walking around asking people, hey, have you seen my wife? Have you seen my son? I would have been like, no, I haven't seen nobody. Like, can you get that axe out my face, please? I don't know why he answered him and said yeah, but he did. He killed him, chopped him up, left him there on a mattress. And then he said that he ran into a prostitute and he got her high. He got her high. Then he started asking questions like, have you seen my wife? She looks like this. Have you seen my son? Da, 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 da. And I guess she was saying that she never seen them before. She didn't know where they were. And that pissed him off. So what did he do? He beat her. He raped her. And he murdered her. So then he took her body and threw her in some bushes. Okay, so she's done. He goes and finds another prostitute, gets her high, did the same thing, gets her high. He asks her questions. Have you seen my wife? Have you seen my son? She acted like she didn't know. So he beat her, raped her. He got a lot of stamina to be that big, to be raping people twice in like, an hour? Like, it's probably like 5-10 minutes went past and he raped somebody again. That's crazy. But he rapes her and then he kills her too. And just when he was about to throw her into some bushes, he seen a fisherman fishing down by the river over the bridge, and the fisherman was watching him. So he like freaked out and was like, okay, now you gotta die because you just seen what I did. So he went down there, killed the fisherman with this like steel pipe that he seen laying on the ground somewhere. He cracked him in the head, split his head wide open. Then he took all 3 of the bodies, the 2 prostitutes and the fisherman, and dumped them in the river, putting rocks on their bodies to like weigh them down so that they go all the way down to the bottom. Whew. So then he does that, and I guess he walks off. But police somehow find out that he did it, and they arrest him, and they bring him in for questioning and everything, and then they just put him in jail, and he stays in jail for like 18 months while he awaits trial. So while he's awaiting trial and everything, he confesses to everything that he did. He said that he killed the 2 homeless guys. He said that he's killed the 2 prostitutes and the man. And he tells them where they are. They can't find any of them. So they even went to the river and tried to find the 3 people that he put in the river, that he said he put in the river, but they couldn't even find them. So they just let him go after 18 months. Like, they just let him go. So he leaves, and he gets a job as a forklift operator. He gets the job, and even though he's so big and intimidating looking, like, he does look scary, even though all that, he somehow finesses his way to winning their hearts, and he asked them if he could stay and live in the trailer that they had on site because he had nowhere to stay. So they're like, okay, you can stay in our trailer, but under one condition. If you become our watchman and you watch over the premises, we'll give you the keys to the gate, we'll give you the keys to the facility. You can stay in the trailer if you do that for us. So he agrees, and he earns an extra $20 a week. So he's doing that, and I think knowing that he had the keys to the gate and the facility, he felt like he was the big boss dog, because he just looked at it like, okay, I could start killing again, and I could hide women under all this soil that's around here. So what does he do? He goes to the local bar that he starts going to often, and he picks up gullible women. So he goes and he finds him a woman, and he tells her that he has drugs back at his house, and he promises her a good time. So she's like, okay. And she goes back with him thinking that she's about to get some crack. And what does he do? Beat her, rape her, and murder her. But this time he murders her by stabbing her to death. And with that same knife, he cuts her up, put her meat in some Tupperware, and put it in the refrigerator. And with the rest of her body, he puts it in a shallow grave, on the work site. In a shallow grave. Oh my gosh. So then he goes to the bar again, I think like a week later, and he finds another gullible woman. He tells her that he has crack back at the house, and she's like, okay, yeah. And he's like, we're going to have a good time, come back to my house. So she goes back with him. He beats her, he rapes her, and he murders her the same exact way. And he puts her body in a shallow grave. And he did confess to the police later on that he did have those women in a shallow grave, and he said some really nasty things. One being, he went to one of the graves one day and dug up one of the girls' head, and he cleaned it out because it had maggots and stuff in it. He cleaned out the mouth and everything, and he performed sexual pleasures on himself with the head. I don't know exactly what he did. I'm going to just leave that there for y'all to do what with, I don't know, but at least you know. Okay, so during his time as a forklift operator, I guess he got comfortable. He was killing women on the side, raping them. He was working, getting his money. He was going to the bar. He was having a good old time. He said, let me open up a roadside barbecue stand truck, whatever thing it is. I don't know. He sells barbecue, burgers, hot dogs. Let me open that up. Well, he opens it up, and he opens it up not too far from the bar that he goes to all the time, where he gets the women. So he opens it up, and what does he use for meat? He uses the women's body that he put in Tupperware. He grinds it up and mixes it with the beef and makes the beef patties for the hamburgers, and grinds it up, mixes it with the pork. I guess he makes with the hot dogs. I don't know. But he uses human remains in their food. And these unsuspecting people, these are people that he sees all the time at the bar, coming to get a burger from him. These are people with their kids eating burgers that, oh my God, how could you do that to some kids? Oh my God. He did say that when he did see the parents feeding the food to their kids, he would be like, But then he would snap out of it because he said that why would the parents feed their children some meat that they don't even know where I got it from? He. Like, people don't question that kind of stuff. They just think if it says beef patties, it's beef patties. And he also said that human remains taste just like pork. If you mix it together, you can't tell the difference. He also said that the people who would eat his food would say that it was good. Like, they had no idea that there was anything off about the meat. They never said anything, never suggested anything. They actually told him, you make good burgers, I like it. They gave him a compliment on these human flesh burgers. That's disgusting. Well, a few weeks later, he got another woman. And when he promised her drugs and promised her a good time, she came back to the house with him, and he beat her, just like he did all the others. And when he proceeded to rape her, she got away somehow, and she escaped out the trailer. And then she went and ran towards the gate. She seen some wooden piles, I don't know, and she just jumped on it and then jumped over the fence. The fence had barbed wire on top, so when she jumped over, it was cutting her up. I guess she didn't care about none of that because she just kept going. And while she was going, he was running after her, yelling at her, telling her, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you just like the others and put you in a grave just like I did all the other women. I don't know what I would have did. I would have started crying while I was running. I don't know what she was thinking about, but she got away. And she went to the police and she told them all about it. So when she went to police, he got scared. He's like, oh shit, it's about to go down. So he started packing up everything, trying to get rid of all the evidence, trying to get rid of the clothes, trying to get rid of the bodies, because he still had meat in his possession. So he's trying to hide everything. And then the police come, they find him, and they arrest him. Well, while he's awaiting his sentence, he tells them that, what I did was bad. I can see how you guys can think it's bad, but I did it for my pleasure. I felt really powerful. Taking the life of someone else, it really made me feel good. So that's why I did it. And if you guys look at it like it's a bad thing, okay, I just accept that. If you want to make me pay the consequence for it, I accept that. He even told them about other murders that they had no idea that he had committed, didn't even know that people were murdered. He told them where to find the bodies, how he did it. He gave them all this proof, and they gave him life in prison. See, I knew he was going to get life in prison because I knew it was going to be first-degree murder, because when he raped those women, that's considered first-degree murder, because if you rape and follow up with a murder, that's first degree. Also, when you premeditate, murder, like what he did with the axe, when he brought the axe with him to the bridge, that's premeditated too, because he brought a murder weapon. You know what I mean? You get it. But anyway, so he got life. Oh, he didn't get life. He got the death penalty. When you get first degree murder, you get the death penalty or you get life in prison. He got death penalty. But this is where I got confused, because somehow something happened that he was able to live out the rest of his life in prison. Well, while he's living out the rest of his life in prison, he dies one day suddenly at age 62 in the prison cell. I don't know how he died. I don't know who killed him. If there was a murder or was there a suicide, I don't know. And I really don't think people were really looking into it, because I don't think people cared, because they wanted him to get the death penalty anyway. But somehow he miraculously got out of that. So ain't nobody care about that. So yeah, he died in a cell at age 62. And he got to meet his maker. Well, guys, that was the video for today. I know it was kind of creepy. I know it was out there. It was nasty. But while I was reading it, it was interesting just learning more and more and more. I like learning about these serial killers and these murderers, because it's just far from what I would ever do, and I just like to get into their mind. That's why I like to tell you guys, when they were born, how they grew up, what their parents were like, what their family was like, what type of situation they were coming up in, so we can explore what made this person turn into the person that they are today. What made this killer? What made a person kill? I can never kill somebody. I just don't understand. That's why I'm so fascinated with it, because I just don't understand how somebody can take someone's life and then do that and then do it again and then do it again and then do it again. I don't know. But There is some crazy stuff that goes on in these streets, and that's why I'm here, because I want to tell you guys, it's so much when I'm researching these things. There's so much that goes on, and you need to know. And I hope I see you guys next week for Wine for Crime Wednesday.